Tenet, spoiler-free Tenet?
Spoiler-free Tenet.
All right.
So, how do you want to do this, Johnny?
In a very unlinear, complex way, or
Yeah, let's do it to where there's no beginning and no end.
and then it all correlates, and then I am dumbfounded.
Yeah, let me give everyone a quick basic. This is the only spoiler we'll give. Chris Pratt walks into a professor's office, and what does he see? Impossible math equation. He solves it. X equals Y, obviously.
Jay, that was Parks and Rec.
Oh, right. Okay, no, but let's really talk about Tenet.
Okay.
First off, let's just do so quick. So everyone knows this, but it's directed and written by Christopher Nolan. It stars John David Washington and Edward Cullen, aka
The Flash?
Batman.
Batman?
Yes.
Oh, you mean Robert Patterson?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
Ah, yes. Well,
Yeah.
we can discuss that later.
There's also Elizabeth Debicki. I may or may not be looking at my phone real quick to get the pronunciation right on that one. I hadn't seen her before in many movies. And then here's something funny. You're a Harry Potter fan. You know who Gilderoy Lockhart is, right? In the second movie.
The second movie?
Yeah, Gilderoy Lockhart is like the professor who teaches Defense Against the Dark Arts.
That's right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The one who was all that's him. That is him. Good on ya.
The bad guy is him.
Yeah. Well, not the bad guy. He just took credit from other people.
Right. Totally. But in Tenet, he plays a arms dealer, so I should say he's a bad man.
The antagonist.
Right. Yeah, Sator.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah, it's funny to see him play such an evil person because I won't get too much into it, but he's got a thick Russian accent and he's not a very nice man.
Yeah, it sold it well. I didn't even recognize him from that.
Right. He's also in more current movies. Death on the Nile is coming out this year with Gal Gadot and him. And then he was in Murder on the Orient Express. He plays Hercule Poirot, who is the French investigator. He's also a semi-famous director. He directs those movies, and he did like a few others. A poor movie he directed is Artemis Fowl. So,
ugh.
Yeah, I didn't make it through 20 minutes of that movie.
No, movie's so bad. Even Disney Plus was like, let's just put it on the site. We don't even care.
Yeah, we don't need to make money off this one. We're not even going to try. So let's talk about the movie real quick. What would you give it in a rating out of 10? What would you give the movie?
Probably an 8.
8 out of 10.
And it's because like I like to be confused. Don't get me wrong, and I will watch it again. It's a 10 for me. Is really hard for a movie.
That explains a lot of the women you pursue. I like to be confused. That statement.
That is the story of my life, my friend.
Yeah, 8 out of 10. That's pretty high. I would give it a 7 out of 10. I mean, just in general, I thought the movie was good. There are a few. Yeah. So I actually saw it twice. I saw it once with my wife on Monday, and then I realized that I wanted to do a review of it. And we'd already purchased the tickets. So I was like, Johnny, you need to see it too. And I knew you wouldn't see it unless I forced you to go.
I don't go alone to things. You know this.
So we went twice, again on Tuesday. Yeah, it was pretty rough, actually, seeing it 2 times in a row. I actually liked it a lot more the second time. First time I saw it, it was about a 6 out of 10. Second time, 7. 7 out of 10. So it cleared up a lot of the mysteries for me.
The action is way good, and I've been missing that in movies. Like since Star Wars has it's like in your face action, so does Marvel a lot. But like so it's been a while when there was a lot of up close fight scenes that I really enjoyed.
Right.
So that's what pushed me a little bit more.
Right. Think the movie Taken, or think John Wick is a reminder of some of the action scenes. And you've seen him in the trailer. There's a hallway scene where he's fighting with someone and the person's crawling backwards on the ground. That hallway scene's beautiful when you get to it in the movie. Yeah,
and there's one too when he's just like in the restaurant in the kitchen, and he's just having a hand-to-hand combat is really well done, which is rare because it takes the time to do it. Because now the superhero movies, they have powers. So when it's some normal person, that's just amazing. It looked really cool.
Right. The fight cinematography is really good in this one. I really like that. I would agree the action is really good. Some really big stunt pieces with big explosions. You see part of it in the trailers, but even more so in the movie. You see a lot of really good action sequences. Wow. A lot of really good action sequences.
There we go.
sequence scenes, I think is what I said originally. The opening scene, for example, is incredible.
Oh yeah.
The opening is awesome. I honestly think it's my favorite opening of any other than maybe The Dark Knight. It's my
I was
favorite
gonna say the
opening.
Dark Knight was the better.
Yeah, I mean the Joker. How do you beat that? But even there, like they're pretty close. I really like the opening of Tenet.
And we watched it on IMAX, so that always helps get your heart race pumping. The
Right,
heart.
and the
Yeah.
cinematography is really good in this movie. Jumping into that, what did you think of like the visuals and the locations and everything?
Yeah, it was stunning. There was there's some scenes where they're like there's just a balcony and then like the reverse shout out and I was like, "Where are you? I want to visit that village, this little tiny villa that you look like you're in." It's always breathtaking.
And what's amazing about the movie is they will go to these breathtaking scenes, and they'll spend less than 30 seconds of screen time in it,
Mhm.
and then they're on to the next scene, and it's awesome.
Yeah, they don't it's a lot of in your face scenes, like a small set, a close set, but then they'll pan out to like a beautiful area.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And there's scenes where people are walking, and it's a beautiful set piece while they're walking. They're having a conversation in a beautiful landscape. There's a
Mhm.
lot of conversations like that, or in a really cool looking city with cobblestone streets. That happens. Um, so yeah, I really like the cinematography in this movie. The the sets are nice. They're pretty cool. They're all different. You kind of travel a lot, and I'm about it. I really liked the set pieces and the cinematography.
Yeah, it was really well executed. It's and it took him 5 years, right? Did he write this movie and
Yeah, something like that.
no one takes his time. We know that.
What did you think? So speaking of how long he took, what did you think of the story? What would you give like the story out of 10?
I'll go 6, mainly for two reasons, which we won't really
Well,
spoil. But I had a hard time on IMAX, like
well,
listening to the dialogue, following it.
let me specify this. We're going to talk about story, and then we'll also talk about how the story is told. So the story itself versus like the exposition and
Oh
how it's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
told.
yeah. It was a cool concept, different. So
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Anything that's even if like, oh, it's science, it's kind of been done before, but it's retold different. So I like that, unique.
Yeah,
So I like that a lot.
I really like the idea of the story. You learn this in the trailer. If you haven't seen the trailer, why are you watching a movie review? But the idea is that time's been inverted, and that affects objects and other things. Not all of time, but like there's been some inversion with time where things are moving backwards. Like you see him catch a bullet, or catch a bullet in the gun. The idea is that that bullet was basically sent back in time, like it's now traveling backwards through time, inverted. And I
Yeah, the
love
way
that
you see it
concept.
is backwards.
What's that?
The way that you see it is backwards. Like it's happening in real
Exactly.
time, but you're seeing it in the mirrored version.
Exactly. And that's to me that storytelling is really cool. Like 10 out of 10,
Mhm.
great idea. The actual execution is not great. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of the exposition, some of the
Yeah.
execution, some of the dialogue. I know you had an issue with that.
Yeah, we'll do a full GBN on a good bad nerdy, which we like to do. And I go really bad on that. It's just there was just scenes where they were talking out in the water and it was just loud. And then it was like an important dialogue scene, but you can't hear it because they're in a boat, like a speedboat, one of those like fancy speedboats. And they're like, "Oh, hey, let's talk about that one scene right now when you're blasting water and you can't hear anything."
Right, huge. So there's a few scenes that just like upset me. That's one of them. They're on a boat and they're talking through microphones, and all you can hear is the boats. It sounds like Bane on a boat talking. Like it's so muffled. You can't understand
Bane
what
would
they're
make more
saying.
sense.
And the scenes there, and what it's not just what they're saying is important. It's vital. It's vital to the story, to the progression of the characters and everything else. So to me, that was a huge negative too. There's a scene where people are on opposite ends of glass and they're talking, and I can't understand a word. I've seen it twice. I didn't understand a single word what was going on, and I got so irritated with it.
Yeah, the
Um,
the, the premise is like, oh, because it's inverted, so he's talking backwards, but I can't understand him because it's backwards. But it doesn't help.
no, no, there's a machine that's meant to be playing it through so that you can understand it,
Oh,
but
see, I didn't even get that part.
yeah, you can't understand a single thing they're saying. And then there's a scene. This was to me like, and this is totally Nolan to have poor dialogue like this. He does it in scenes of Interstellar, but none of them are this critical. None of it's to like give off major exposition, and he does it in Inception too. But it's so few in those movies that it's not a big deal. And this one, it's all the time. There's a scene where Michael Caine is eating. So Michael Caine is in the movie. Shocker, that's not really a spoiler, but he's talking to someone and he's eating as he does it, and I can hear his lips smacking as he eats. and I can hear him eating, and I'm like, he's trying to give dialogue and eat, and it just sounds terrible, and I hate that. So that for me was like probably one of the biggest issues why it brought down the movie was the dialogue, and it is
Yeah.
really bad. There are times where people are just talking and the score is louder than their voices.
And then when we got to watch it in IMAX, because if you're gonna watch a Nolan movie, watch it in IMAX.
Mm-hmm.
The bass was just so loud. I thought I was losing my hearing. I'm like, I can't hear a word. Where's the close? Turn on the closed caption. I don't know what's going on. And I thought it was just me. But then the more I read, the more I hear. I'm like, oh, everyone is having difficulty. Okay, good.
Right. So in both theaters, it was an issue. Because I've been twice.
Yeah, it's something about like it was shot in 55 millimeters. Some guy was trying to explain it to me today, and I'm like, oh, it's above my head. It just was hard to hear.
Yeah, it's not great. But I just mentioned that I kind of went through a couple of the characters. What did you think of characters in terms of did you care about them? What are they? What did you like about the characters, or what did you not like?
I really I love John David Washington, the protagonist. He was funny yet like cocky at the same time. Like he pulled off arrogance correctly, and like had a good heart. He did a really good job. I liked him a lot.
Right. It's really hard to find an actor that just like in the way they walk and the way they hold themselves and the way they kind of talk and everything, like there's a charisma about them and a confidence that you just kind of are attracted to. And I thought that he was really cool like that. I really dug his performance. I mean, you don't learn a lot about him. And besides all that, I like really cared about his character.
Yeah, there's no origin story really for anybody, but it's just all set in like a moment in time.
Right. Exactly. And what did you think of our good friend, the Batman, coming up, Robert Pattinson?
So
this is the $1,000,000 question.
It was like I did have the one stigma of him as a little whiny vampire. That's true, but he was really good. I mean, he wasn't like menacing as you think Bruce Wayne would be, or I guess Batman is menacing, and he was a little schoolboyish, so not like Bruce Wayne, but his acting is way better. I mean, from like 2 to 12, like it really was like that much of a shot.
He's not playing Bruce Wayne in the movie either, so it's you can't draw a perfect parallel between the two characters. Obviously,
no, and he's just kind of scrawny. That's just more of a my thing. He might bulk up for the time I see this movie, but yeah, he's a good actor. I mean, he's better than what I expected because I haven't seen anything since Twilight, and I didn't really pay attention to Twilight from him. Like I watched 10 minutes of one 15 years ago. So
sure, we all believe that, Johnny.
Okay, that's kind of TMI, but whatever.
No, I really liked his performance.
Team effort all the way.
He's in through for a lot of the movie, and I agree. He's pretty funny. He's pretty charming. He's a good counterbalance to James David Washington. They're pretty different, but I really liked the charisma between the two characters.
Yeah, we came out, and I was like, that's a cool bromance. Like you didn't think it. I don't know. Well, going into the movie, I didn't know how it's going to work, but I'm like, you know what? They have a really cool bromance.
Right.
Like, it's not in your face like Sean and Gus. It's not, or Abed and Troy, but it works.
Right. You liked them throughout the movie. It was entertaining to see them together, and you see bits of that in the trailer. Okay, I think we're kind of coming to the end of our review here. Any last notes for it? Any final thoughts you wanted to say about the movie?
It's worth it to watch it, even though like we're not 1,000% in love with it. It's cool to watch. I like it. If there's more, I'll watch anything else with it. And it's funny, no one took this long, but just to be out in the movies, it's great.
I'll say this: it's a great movie. I can't believe they shot it without any green screen. I thought it was a fabulous movie. I just am a little harder on Nolan, and I had some really high hopes. So I think that kind of 7 out of 10 is a pretty good score for any movie. That's for me, that's a really high score. So I still love this movie, but it's not my favorite Nolan movie, is the issue I'm trying to say. Like, I like Dark Knight and I like Inception more.
Yeah, Memento. Like it's hard for him to.
But it's better than Dunkirk and it's better than The Prestige, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I can see with that.
So it's
because the action was really cool. Like I was super impressed with the action. I'll say that again for people who like action up hand to hand. Like not super. I mean, there's like cool special effects, obviously. But it's something that looks realistic if you believe in this world that time goes backwards and forward at the same time.
Right. And the movie doesn't feel long. It is a little long, but it doesn't feel super long. It moves fast. You have to buckle in your seatbelt. It moves very fast.
Yeah, you got to pay attention. And I tell people always keep looking because they'll do little hints around the movie. Always keep your eyes moving for little hints here and there.
Right. Yeah. There's a ton of Easter eggs. I don't even know if an Easter egg is the right term for it, but there's clues defined. I'll say that.
Hmm.
Clues to unlock. So I liked it. We'll give it a cumulative. We'll give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, really good. That's
I mean, that's what I gave Bill and Ted, and I loved it.
yeah. So that's our review of Tenet, you guys. Please like, subscribe, and we're just groveling here for all
Follow us
that.
at Deadlight Nerds.
Yeah, we're just gonna grovel, grovel, grovel. We started sending out stickers and shirts and all the good stuff. So yeah, leave us an IM and we'll get you taken care of.
Yeah, follow our Insta, and we'll have fun trivia.